What's up, Dragon Brood? So today we're gonna go back to something we did at the very beginning of the season where we actually had, I guess we built two different types of decks. We had a Dimir zombie deck, and then we had a Sultai snow deck. So now this is kind of like the amalgamation of the two to be able to play Sultai snow zombies. Like, I know it's a little bit much, but actually it does work out. It's kind of weird, and it's one we kind of stumbled on a little bit. Had to make a couple of changes live during a stream, but we actually got there and got to a playable version of the deck. So definitely looking forward to sharing that with you today. But the first thing I want to say here is, for those of you who don't know, I have a partnership with Ultra Pro, and I want to let y'all know that they have some really cool items. So if you haven't checked out Ultra Pro's stuff, especially for Kaldheim, there's some really sweet boxes. Even if you just want a snow deck box, or if you want something with just a filigree, or you even want to get a wall scroll. They actually made wall scrolls this set with different artwork from the sagas and that really crazy, super sweet Kaldheim metal logo that people really like. So be sure to check those out. You can go to the link down in my description. It's shop.ultrapro.com. But here's the cool thing. If you do want something from there, just take down the item name, the item number, take it to your local store and have them order it for you. Even if you don't order it through the site, Ultra Pro is still cool with it because they are supporters of your local game stores. So with that being said, let's hop into the video. Okay, starting at the top, we just need some efficient removal, and we decided to go with Blood Chief Thirst, partly because there's going to be a lot of times on turn 2 or 3 we're going to be playing some tap lands or whatever, so you want to give yourself at least the opportunity to be able to kill something early across the battlefield. We have 3 Duress. This could be maybe Agonizing Remorse, or maybe if you have some other discard spell of choice you want to play. This is kind of a way for us to hedge our bets a little bit against the Sultai Ultimatum decks and things of that nature, to be able to get rid of those like big spells that are going to hit you later in the game and really cause a problem. You know, whether that's just the Emergent Ultimatum or something along the lines of like Kiora conquers as whatever, the blue enchantment. I don't know why it's Kiora Best the Sea God. There you go. I knew it was there somewhere. Then we added a couple of Foulmire Knights, and I don't know if this is the right number, but I did want at least one more creature. I also like the fact that this lets us draw a card, and it does have Death Touch, so it's another way to be a deterrent to your opponent while you're trying to get those extra few points in, or even just keep them from attacking while you're trying to get to your later stages of the game. Mire Triton, this card's doing a lot of work, putting stuff in the graveyard, gaining 2 life, has Death Touch, right? Really checks a lot of the boxes for us. And we do have cards that we're okay being in the graveyard, so we don't mind that at all. 2 Priests of the Haunted Edge. And this one's one I debated a bit, but because we do have some synergies with other stuff in the deck, we still decided to play it. Now, admittedly, it does only work with snow lands, and we aren't playing all snow lands. So there are going to be situations where sometimes you're only going to be able to do it for like 2 or 3. We're just willing to have to be okay with that. But there are times that because we can pump up our zombies, it could be a 1/5 or something like that and actually be able to do some work anyway. 3 Murderous Riders. Interesting thing, I think a lot of people forget the Murderous Rider is a zombie, but it's both a zombie and a knight, so in this case, fits perfectly what we're doing. Lets you remove planeswalkers, also helps you gain life. So, big fan of this card in this list. Possibly could play a 4th one even. Rise of the Dreadmarn. We're playing 1. This will only come into play every once in a while, obviously, because we're only playing 1 of it. Probably not quite good enough, but I still wanted to give it a run and see how I felt about it. Additionally, the other thing that's cool about this card that I think people forget about sometimes is that it's not all of your creatures that die. It's for every creature that died that turn. So if you get into a big scrum in combat and you lose 2 things, your opponent loses 2 things, well, you get 4 zombies for the next turn. That's actually a big deal, and it's instant speed, so you could use it possibly during your opponent's turn as well. Timuret Calls the Dead. This is putting stuff in the graveyard. This is making zombies. And the cool part is, it's going to be sometimes you're going to get to scry for 4 or 5 because everything in here is a zombie. Except for Jorn. I will say this, though. More often than not, we're actually playing the Rhyme Staff, the backside of Jorn, more often than the front side. The front side, yeah, it can untap your lands every once in a while, but usually we're just doing that if we just need to close the game out and have another body. It does get pumped up by Narfi because it is a snow creature, but realistically, being able to replay stuff like Priest of the Haunted Edge, where you can just get that out turn after turn, is awesome. You know, being able to get lands out of your yard and get them into play. Just a lot of little things that it's doing for us. Then we're playing Draw Your Necromancer because, again, zombie. And it's a snow permanent, so it does get bonus from Narfi, but it also gets help from Jorn if you need to get it out of your graveyard, so that's awesome. It's a 4/4 for 4, sizable body, and it does let you kind of have some extra defense against things like the mono white aggro decks, right? If you get into situations where they're having to sacrifice a Selfless Savior or an Alseid of Life's Bounty, you actually get the card and then you take it away from them from being able to replay it every turn with their Luris. So something to think about. Very, very cool card and does a lot of work here. 3 Binding of the Old Gods. I think originally we had 4, so it's possible if you wanted to take some of these cards we have like one ofs or whatever and swap it out for this, wouldn't even be upset about it. It makes a lot of sense. Mostly as a way just to have a all-around removal card. But I felt like 3 is okay when you put it alongside Murderous Rider and Bloodchief's Thirst. And for the most part, that seems to have been true. 2 Polakranos the Unchained, because if it flips in the graveyard, we don't care. We can play it with Escape. That also works well against the rogue decks that are trying to mill you out. So that's actually really nice. And it's also a zombie. Another thing I don't think people know. It's a zombie Hydra. So also get your zombie bonuses, which is cool. Then we're playing 1 Reflections of Lajara. Now, I will say this about Reflections. It is a good card in this list, but we're only playing 1 because we do actually have some legends in the deck, right? When you're talking about Jorn, Polakranos, Narfi, it doesn't do any good to get a copy of a legendary creature. Most of the time. There's some weird corner case situations, but generally speaking, it's not going to do that great for you. But when you're able to copy like a Murderous Rider late and get extra life gain, or even copy something like a Mire Triton, where you can go ahead and get another Death Touch creature or gain 2 life, right? Those things are actually very good for this deck. And you might be in a situation where you just want to go wide, so playing more bodies actually isn't bad when you're able to pump them up with Narfi, which is the next card. And the best part about Narfi is don't forget that you can use this ability at instant speed to put it back into play. So you can use that at the end of the opponent's turn. So you don't have to dedicate your mana yet. So if you want to leave 3 mana up, maybe to say use Murderous Rider's ability to kill something, well, cool. If you end up not needing it, let's go ahead and bring Narfi back, right? And Narfi's cheaper to play from the graveyard than it is to actually cast from your hand. So if you get those situations where you can just play it from the yard on turn 4 or 5 because you were able to flip it in the graveyard with Timurit Calls the Dead, that's kind of a huge leg up. And then our final spell, Blood on the Snow. And this is a tough one. Like, this is one we debated even on stream if we wanted it to be Blood on the Snow or the other one you choose a creature type and it's -3/-3, right? So either of those probably works because if we could give everything else -3/-3 is not a zombie, great. But then it also means you can't get rid of things that are larger than 3 toughness. So it kind of goes both ways, a little bit difficult. But, you know, there's arguments to be made for both cards. I'm still on the fence. Just go with whatever one makes the most sense for you. As for our lands, we're playing 1 snow-covered island, 7 snow-covered swamps, 2 snow-covered forests, 3 of the Darkwater Pathway, 4 Darkboar Pathway, 2 Woodland Charm, a Chasm, I don't know why I said Charm, 2 Bark Channel Pathway, 2 Rime Wood Falls, and 1 Zagoth Triumph. And these are really mostly in here, the tap lands, mostly because you can fetch them out with a Binding of the Old Gods if you just need to get some more mana, make sure you hit your colors, sort of thing. Like, say you maybe didn't get a blue land, it gives you a chance to go get one. But, yeah, you know, overall, I think this actually works okay. But you tell me after watching these games. Well, this time we do have other colors. So we'll keep it. 2 tap lands early is not what we want, but I'll take it. Because, I mean, we could play this first. We can duress on 2, and then we can decide what we want to do turn 3. And it'll give us a little bit of a heads up on the opponent's mana game plan. Oh, Banishing Lights. That's gonna suck. But they only have 2 land. Technically 3 with Azorius Disruption. But if we make them play the Disruption on, say, like, a Timurit Calls the Dead, then they have to find another land, right? And they don't have any white mana at all right now. I think I just take the Disruption. I don't love that. I kind of wanted to leave them with it. But it kind of guarantees they do nothing right now. So why not? Yeah, and here I'm okay just starting with Timurit Calls the Dead. Because we at least get something if they do hit their white land. We'll at least have a 2/2. Because they'll probably just try to remove the Timurit. Okay. That is not awful for us. Got rid of some lands. Alright, I guess I'll go ahead and get rid of Jorn. Opponent's obviously playing some type of control setup, but I'm willing to walk into it. Let's do that. I mean, counter it if you want to counter it. I don't care. And then we're going to run this out. Attack for 2. Now, the bad part is we know the opponent now has their rewind and whatnot. What was that? Green, black, blue. We kind of have everything. We have other stuff. I mean, I guess there's really not anything to be concerned about here. So I guess I'll just... we even have a green-blue land in hand. So, like, sure. So now they have their white mana. They can choose to remove something if they want. So they might leave mana up just to rewind. Nope, they are not leaving mana up to rewind. And they're like, I will do no such thing. Ooh, what do we do with this? I'm gonna assume, looking at the opponent's deck, that these 2 cards are not very good. Well, Blood Chiefsters might be if we need to get rid of a shark. But I'm just gonna leave that up. I don't think we really need anything else here. Now let's go ahead and attack. I mean, this kind of sucks because, like, we can see the opponent's entire hand. So unless this is literally just, I guess, saw it coming. If it is, it is. Otherwise, they're drawing 2 cards. I'm like, that's fine. Like, I'm willing to gamble on that. That's okay. Like, because until they find a sweeper or something, the rest of their hand really does nothing right now. Like, even if they Shark Typhoon, they're just gonna cycle to get a 2/2. Like, we're not really concerned about that. Just gonna do this. If they want to counter it, that works. I mean, they might want to, just because... Okay, they opted not to. Interesting. Oh, we got a Narfi. Yeah. Well, you know what? We can do Narfi anytime, though, right? Yeah, let's just pass. We can leave mana up for Murderous Rider if we want to. Or if they sweep the board, we could just get Narfi back then. Shark Typhoon. Sure. Sounds good. Not too worried about it. I'm not even sure what these, like, Azorius Control decks really do anymore. The last couple we played against did not look very impressive. And this one's continuing that pattern. Unknown error, what? I was like, we're definitely positioned to win this. Don't do this to us. Alright. In comes Narfi. I mean, it might get bounced. You know. No? Nothing? You got nothing, opponent? Then okay. Ah, there's another saw it coming. Okay. Well then, do we just attack with everything? You block 3, rock the 2 big ones, you take 3, 6, 8. We'd still be able to get Narfi back? So yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm not really sure what they do here otherwise. And what's funny is, I was concerned about the rewind, but they ultimately kept that in hand the whole game. I mean, we could play something, but there's no need since they have the... Unless we just want them to tie up mana with their Banishing Lights. There's really no reason to do anything here. We can just Narfi during their end step. Put a card on top of their library. So unless what they drew was a card to protect them, it could be another Shark Typhoon or something, though. But we'll see if Narfi's enough. Could also be like Omen of the Sun. That would still create some blockers, gain some life. So that's a reasonable thing that could happen. Alright. What you got, opponent? They're just passing. Alright, so unless it's... Yeah, it's gotta be something like that. They're gonna fish our lands? Alright. Sure. Maybe they're looking for a certain thing? I don't really know. Oh, you know what? I see what they were doing, actually. That was a good play. Alright, let's go this thing out there. Then we'll probably play a Mire Triton. And then maybe, I don't even know what we're hoping to find after that. Narfi, you are not bad. Attack for 1. Play our Mire Triton. Alright. Didn't desperately want those cards in the yard, but having the Timurat Calls the Dead would have been nice. Since we don't have a setup play next turn. I'm just going to keep on keeping on here. I mean, if the opponent gets us, they just get us. We probably need to draw, like, Binding on the Old Gods or something here anyway. Heliod? Annoying. Another Narfi. Not what we're looking for, deck. Definitely not what we're looking for. This might be where we get a loss. Maybe? I mean, if they have something for life gain here, yeah, this is going to really start to suck, for sure. Because any one more thing, you can just bring Cloth or Heliod to life, right? Oh, they didn't have it. Okay. That's some good news. Ooh. That's something. Man, I really was thinking about playing a Narfi here. But, this changes things. Wow. Wow. goodness. What do we do? I feel like the answer is still attack. See if the opponent blocks. They probably, I mean, there's no way they're blocking. So we'll just get our damage in here. I'm going to pass the turn with the intention of killing probably Luminarch Aspirant. Oh, well, now we have to. Gosh dang it. I was going to wait till they tried to activate Heliod, but now we don't really get that opportunity. So do we want to kill Daxos or Aspirant? Aspirant's more annoying, though Daxos with Heliod is their only life gain source. So hopefully they don't have a second Daxos. I don't love that. I don't love that. But if it's what we gotta do, it's what we gotta do, you know? Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, we're dead. I'm not even gonna bother. We're dead. I'm good with that. I can accept reality. Because it's actually not bad in the sense that it gives negatives to kill a creature, which is really nice. Playing against Yorion, I would like to mulligan this. But it is sorcery speed removal, which makes it super annoying. I'm gonna get rid of a Narfi. By the way, I had somebody post on my YouTube channel that they're upset that I just say tuck for things because tuck is already a magic term. And the reality is, one, tuck is not a magic term. It's just a generic thing people say for Teferi's ability. But, like, I tuck stuff away with, like, a, for, like, Foretell. I'll, like, tuck a spell with Foretell, right? Or, in that case, I'm going to tuck this back to the bottom. And the thing is, that's just using the English language. It's not, like, And I also tried, I didn't respond to the person, but my thought was, like, if my use of the word tuck there confuses you, then, like, I don't know what you want me to do. Thanks for the follow there, by the way. Yeah, Crippling Fear wouldn't be bad. I considered that over Blood in the Snow. Yeah, let's just do this. Get rid of one of those Mire Tritons. Don't know if we're going to be able to attack fast enough to kill the opponent here. I mean, getting Narfi back's pretty nice. I mean, they can Extinction Event here if they wanted to. They chose not to. Narfi's a 4/3. Binding of the Old Gods. We actually were going to need that at some point. That sucks. If I get Narfi back now, we attack for 6, but the opponent to 12. I can attack for 4 next turn. Even if they have a sweeper, then I just spend 4 for the Necromancer then. Or I could Narfi next turn and play this, which is probably better. Ugh. Ugh. Don't like it. Alright. Opponent's going to be at 6 mana, so I mean, if they want to just sweep our board next turn, they're going to be able to. Extinction Event here is still bad, though. Nope, just Fae of Wishes. 2, 4, 6, alright. Let's see what's up. Okay, there's the Extinction Event. Well, they have all their mana they need. Do we move Murderous Rider up top? We'll take Foulmire Knight. I think that's fine. It's at least a combination that guarantees we still have spells. But is this it? Yeah. Exactly. Exactly enough. Look at that. This is real close. I'm gonna keep this. just because it has some fun cards in hand. Yeah, or if I had something like Blood on the Snow. But yeah, that last game is a good example where like Blood on the Snow could actually do something. If we'd have had like where opponent has Maul the Skyclaves on a thing, the Crippling Fear doesn't kill anything, right? I mean, it does if it's a 1 toughness thing with the Maul, but you get what I'm saying, right? Like, whereas Blood on the Snow can still get stuff off the table. Alright, well, I guess we play the only thing we can play. And we didn't hit anything. Alright, well, that's unfortunate. And it's also scary that the opponent had nothing to play during our turn. Or their turn. Oh, Outlaw's Merriment. Oh, good thing we found a land. That was about to get real ugly. Alright, we are having some bad hits from this Timorite Calls the Dead. Alright, well, don't have a choice to use this. This is a non-starter. Alright. Though Reflections is probably going to be a big player in this game. Wow, this is actually a cool deck. I like what the opponent's doing here. Do I need a Zagoth Triumph? Is the question. I don't think so. That still gives us double blue, double green. How badly do I think I'm gonna need a 6 mana? Probably not terrible. Maybe. Well, I'm about to mill it anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter. You can just leave those up so I don't mill a good card. Actually, I say that though. I mean, I could just pull a Kranos here. We do have the cards in the yard if it dies. No, I'm gonna go with this. Even though, I don't know, I guess the opponent can play Omen of the Sea, so I guess it's not really worth it. Or Omen of the Sun. Alright, 0-5 wall. Or 1-5 wall, I should say. Relevance. Opponent obviously is not playing a sweeper here. It's on you, opponent. I don't care. Alright. Let's see what happens here. I have a feeling this Blood on the Snow might need to do some work. Man, why didn't we, like, we just needed anything worthwhile to get back from the yard. We have 4 Snowlands. Yeah, this is going to be a real pain. I don't know how we're going to overcome this. I think late game we're going to have to Blood in the Snow, get something back. Because obviously the Daggro Necromancer is not going to do enough here against this opponent, getting all these big things. I'm also not sure if I want to... Actually, you know what? Let's do that. I'll still attack with the Mire Triton. I think it ultimately is going to end up dead at some stage anyway. Alright. Man, honestly, the opponent feels like they have a better version of a deck I've been trying to build. I'm a little jealous. And I'd imagine their deck has no real creatures. Ooh. Nothing to get back, though, is there? Just lands. That's not awesome. What do we do here? Let's say we kill a 4/4. Kill the other 4/4. Attack. See how the opponent blocks. And we can then blood on the snow. I mean, but we'd already cleared so much of the board by then. Maybe it's not even necessary. All right. Let's see what happens. Okay, I could live with that. No need to clear the board then yet. We can still live with that. Let's target this. Replay it. So a little weird. Not the way I really want to go about this, but like, we'll see what happens. I'll see now if we can kill a Maja. That could be cool. Well, now we just have to sweep the board. But we would get a Maja from this dying, so that could actually be kind of cool. Or at least the ability to cast it. We will block. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can 1, 2, 3, 4 Snowlands. So we could get back a Necromancer. Okay, I guess that's what we do. Destroy all creatures. Get this tutor back. And... oh, if I was going to do that, I should have just got a Snowland out of the yard. Dang it, that was a mistake. Definitely a mistake. Alright. I mean, not a lot we can do here. We just gotta try to weather the storm, I guess, best we can. Okay, Narfi, you help. You really do help. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, we do have enough to do what we want to do here. Target the priest. Play the priest. Get a copy. Play a Narfi. We'll keep the real one. Or actually, do we just send the real one to the yard? Because then it's kind of protected. That's a weird question, actually. I don't know what the opponent's playing. This is one of the weird times where keeping the token might have a benefit. I'm gonna... man, I don't even know. I really don't know here. I'm just gonna put this in the... I'm gonna keep the token. Might be wrong. Might be completely wrong. But that's what we're going with. Then the next turn... oh, Archon. Boo. Boo to that. That is not what we wanted to see. That is the opposite of a good time for us. That makes it much better in regards to a good time. Well, if we kill the Archon, we can at least cast the Archon, right? Alright, so let's go ahead and do that. Before that gets out of control, let's kill the Archon. Much as I want to play their Maja here, I would love that. We'll just go ahead and play their Archon. We will use... actually, no, cancel. Yeah, I was going to say, I was about to start using these to pick off their creatures. Alright, now... that actually was a lot of fun and actually performed a bit better than we thought it was going to. I think it can still have a few struggles here or there because of the Snowland situation, but that's up to you. You could adjust that a little bit more if you want. Get a couple more Snowlands in there. But overall, I really like the deck. If you want to play zombies, this is one way to do it. It makes a lot of sense. It does have the ability to play a long game, which is kind of neat because I wasn't sure if that was going to be part of it. Again, I would say if you're looking for spots to swap around, you can mess around with the Binding of the Old Gods, you know, Rise of the Dreadmarn spot. You could take something out of there. So any of the things where there's just like some odd one-ups, feel free to swap those out to taste. But yeah, if you want something that's got a little bit of game across the board and is different, this one's one I think I would give a thumbs up to. Now, as for today's card spotlight, we're going to talk about Toski, Bearer of Secrets, or Toski, depending on if you pronounce him like he's from the old world. But either way, this card has actually started gaining some value and getting a little bit of traction, and Toski is showing up in a lot of lists. I've even had it in, I don't know, probably like 3 lists in the last week. So he's definitely making the rounds, and I think this is the type of card that as long as it's around in standard, it's going to have value. Heck, honestly, I'm probably even adding one to my commander deck. So I think this is a card you're just going to be seeing a lot of, dare I say, for years to come. So if you haven't picked up any, grab them while they're cheap. I think right now they're in the $3 to $4 range, but they have started climbing up a little bit. So something to look out for, especially as we start getting back to gaming in our local stores, probably over the next couple months. And remember, as usual, if you want this deck list, you can get it down in the description below. We have links for everything from merchandise to my Facebook and Twitch streams, or even if you want to just come hang out in our Discord. We have 300, almost 350 people. We're getting really, really close to hitting that milestone. So come by, say hi if you want to talk about deck stuff or just talk about general gaming. We talk about just about everything in there. And if you haven't, please do me a favor and remember to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, because that lets you get notified every time I have a video up and lets me know you appreciate the content that I'm doing. So that's all I have for you for now. We'll see you next time.